A baby boy, just 5 months old, 17 broken ribs, a fractured left femur, a catastrophic brain injury. Yet his father had only one explanation. My son fell down the stairs. Even more shocking, for the next 9 years, no one was ever charged. No trial, no public investigation. Today, we're reopening the case of baby Justin, one of Australia's most disturbing child death cases, a case that sparked nationwide outrage and, to this day, has never received an official answer. So, was this truly a tragic accident? Or was it a murder that had been perfectly covered up for years? If you're new here, welcome. On Channel World True Crime Vault, we take an in-depth look at some of the world's most fascinating true crime cases, carefully reconstructing the timeline, examining the evidence, and exploring the unanswered questions that continue to surround them. If that's something you enjoy, consider subscribing. In October 2016, baby Justin was born in Yeppoon, Queensland, just weeks after his birth. Police were called to the family's home after Justin's father allegedly assaulted his mother with a baseball bat. Then, on January 10, 2017, a neighbor could no longer stay silent. They made an anonymous report to Child Safety, saying, "My baby has bruises on his face, cuts on his lips, and cries in pain whenever he's touched. His parents are abusing alcohol and drugs. He's being neglected." But what happened next was even more disturbing. On January 11, 2017, officers from the Child Protection Unit arrived at the family's home to conduct a welfare check. They saw baby Justin asleep. Not wanting to wake him, they chose not to examine him any further. No report was filed. No information was passed on to Child Safety. The visit ended, and the concerns were simply left behind. Then, in late February, Justin's own father contacted a mental health service, admitting that he was experiencing paranoid thoughts and struggling to control his anger. But no one connected the warning signs. And then, on March 5, 2017, according to his father's account, everything was simply a tragic accident. He claimed, "I was carrying my son down the stairs when I slipped, causing him to strike his head on the steps." About 4 hours later, Justin began having difficulty breathing, and only then did his father call for an ambulance. The following day, baby Justin died at Rockhampton Hospital from a catastrophic brain injury. But when forensic pathologists performed the autopsy, they uncovered a series of shocking findings. A fractured left femur, with evidence suggesting the injury had occurred weeks earlier. 17 broken ribs, a pattern of fractures typically seen only when an infant's chest has been forcefully squeezed or compressed. Severe malnutrition, with Justin weighing less than 97% of children his age. After reviewing all of the evidence, the forensic pathologist reached a chilling conclusion. The older injuries are highly suspicious and are consistent with repeated physical abuse. So the question is, could a single fall down a flight of stairs really have caused all of these devastating injuries? But what makes this case so disturbing isn't just the devastating injuries Justin suffered. It's also the series of unanswered questions surrounding how the authorities handled the case. Although Child Safety had received an anonymous report in early January 2017, the agency didn't officially open an investigation until the very day Justin was admitted to the hospital in critical condition. When it was already too late, police later stated that they had conducted a comprehensive investigation. yet no one was ever charged. Even more remarkably, the coroner never held a public inquest, leaving many crucial questions unanswered. It wasn't until 2026 that The Guardian's investigative series, Broken Trust, uncovered internal documents that brought the case back into the national spotlight. Based on the evidence released to the public, the forensic findings, and the available investigative records, four main theories have emerged. The first, and by far the most widely supported theory, is that Justin had been subjected to prolonged physical abuse before his death. Forensic pathologists discovered injuries of different ages, including a fractured left femur that appeared to have occurred weeks earlier, 17 broken ribs, and severe malnutrition. These findings are extremely difficult to explain as the result of a single accident. Combined with the father's history of domestic violence and the neighbor's earlier reports, many believe Justin had been abused over an extended period. The second theory argues that Justin's death was simply the result of a tragic fall down the stairs, exactly as his father claimed. However, this explanation raises serious concerns. Even a severe fall cannot reasonably account for the older fractures or the evidence of prolonged neglect. For that reason, this is generally considered the least plausible theory. The third theory attempts to reconcile both possibilities. According to this view, Justin may have endured weeks or even months of abuse before March 5th. While the fall described by his father did occur and ultimately cause the fatal brain injury, this theory fits much of the forensic evidence, but it still leaves one critical question unanswered: who inflicted the earlier injuries? The final theory suggests that more than one adult may have been involved in Justin's care. Investigative documents indicate that police acknowledged they could not determine exactly who had access to Justin during the first 5 months of his life. If multiple caregivers were involved, identifying who caused each injury and proving criminal responsibility beyond a reasonable doubt would become extremely difficult. Even so, no publicly available evidence has conclusively identified a third person as being responsible for Justin's injuries. Nearly a decade later, the death of baby Justin remains officially unresolved. So what do you believe? Was Justin the victim of prolonged abuse? Or is the truth even more complicated than anyone realizes? Nearly 9 years have passed since baby Justin lost his life. Yet to this day, justice has still not been served. This isn't just the story of one innocent child. It's also the story of warning signs that were recognized but not acted upon in time, of opportunities that may have saved a young life but were missed, and of difficult questions that continue to surround the way an entire system responded when help was needed most. To this day, no one has been held criminally responsible for Justin's death, and that is why his case remains one of Australia's most heartbreaking and deeply troubling child death cases. If you found this video meaningful, please like and share it so more people can learn Justin's story, and so his case is never forgotten. Who do you believe bears the greatest responsibility for what happened? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you won't miss future videos, where we continue to revisit cases that still leave more questions than answers. Because sometimes, the only thing we can still do for the victims is to keep telling their stories, so that those who can no longer speak will never be forgotten.